Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beer Brigade. I'm John Solo. This is little Alyssa Gramling. Welcome to the Ramblin Gramling Show, where we go over all the new releases of audio books of the week. At the end of the show, Alyssa's going to tell you all about what she listened to this week. She has a bullet rating system. It's fun. It's, well, to be quite honest, it's a little bit of a debauchery, but you'll enjoy it. Hi, Alyssa. How are you?
Good. You've got 2 coffee cups in there.
Yeah, well,
Or more.
one is water.
Oh,
one
you
is
got 3.
One is coffee, and then one needs to go back in the kitchen. So, yeah, it's been a long week in the studio. Well, this has been one of the most eventful weeks of my life.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. First off, Jody's 50th birthday. My lovely wife had her 50th birthday this week. Which was fantastic. We had a whole 4-day vacation planned. We were supposed to go to Mackinac Island in Michigan. That got put by the wayside because our son, otherwise known as White Chocolate, he and his lovely wife had their first baby 3 weeks early. So now we have little Grayson. And he was born on Tuesday at around 12:45 p.m. In the afternoon. So far, everybody's healthy, all that good stuff. It was a hard labor. My poor daughter-in-law was in labor for 24 hours, and they finally decided to do a C-section. So it was rough, to say the least. And everybody came out healthy, but it's been a long, eventful week, to say the least.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures and the video. Like, he looked like he was from France.
Yeah. He came. Well, just based on the labor and the way it came out, he came out with a cone head in the beginning. It was like I thought he looked like he had a crystal skull. It was freaking awesome. But that has calmed down now. He has a full head of what looks like going to be red hair, just like his father, who is a ginger. And looks like blue eyes. On top of that, yeah, Drew's definitely a ginger. He's got the red hair going on. I had kind of red hair when I was a baby, but then it turned blonde. Drew had blonde hair when he was a baby, and it turned red. I don't know how that works. Who knows? But yeah. So we ended up, we were able to celebrate Jody's 50th birthday on her birthday. We went to Yellow Springs, the home of Dave Chappelle. And it's a cool little hippie town, which is a lot of fun. If you're in Ohio, you know. So we were able to celebrate then. The kids are, supposedly they're getting out of the hospital tomorrow. So we shall see. So everything should be back to, they're still in. Like after you have a C-section, you got to stay for a few days.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not like,
I didn't know that because
not like
I've
the
never had one.
baby drops and then he's doing dishes beside you. It takes a few days to, get him out of there. But, yeah. And after all that, I've got a couple looming deadlines. So we've been working our ass off in the booth. Like whenever I get the opportunity, I'm back in the booth, and I seem to have almost lost my voice. And I have a gig this evening, which is just going to be a ton of fun. And it's a big one. It's a festival. And so, yeah, after this, I'm going to lay down and see if I can rest out my voice. So, yeah, that's my life this week. How's your...
hot tea with honey and lemon.
Yeah. How's your salami handling? Everything all right?
I'm no longer doing the meat cutting.
Okay.
Because I can't reach over the counter.
That actually makes perfect sense, yeah.
And so we've got me there's a register at the far end. So we got me doing that and helping out with like prep work. Basically, I've been cutting and smearing barbecue sauce on chicken for the past week. I'm going to start dreaming about chicken.
Well, that really is prepping, isn't it? That's yeah. Hey,
No.
You want to hear a science joke?
Okay, sure.
What's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone?
No idea.
You can't make an enzyme.
Oh my God. That's not really a science joke, but
okay. It's an educational program, kids. Let's
Sure, right.
let's get into this.
Yeah.
Our first release
Wah,
of
wah.
this week, Gabriel, The Phoenix Club, Book 4 by C.J. Bishop, narrated by Jeff Lind. After that, we have our first audio sample of the week. Let me flip over here and make sure I've got the right cover. Here we go. Hello, you folks. Welcome to John Solo's Beer Brigade. I'm John Solo. You are not. This is Annie Moon. This is Touch. This is book 3 in the Obedience series. Please be aware you have to listen to these in order. They're all well worth it. There are some definite trigger warnings in this, but if you're into the hot, spicy, sexy, polyamorous, got a lot going on here. Anyways, here's a blurb. Sometimes love takes a village, and sometimes it just takes a touch. Haphophobia, the intense, irrational fear of touching or being touched. King Goldberg has let that fear control him without question, but Luca Diaz is the submissive that makes him reconsider who is really in control. After the traumatizing events at Thorne's estate, Luca Diaz is ready to let go of the pain of his past to experience the euphoric surrender to his master, but welcoming that vulnerability through pain is never easy. Touch is an emotional and erotic love story of two men on paralleling journeys toward recovery. However, the harder Kane and Luca fall for each other, the wider it seems the chasm of drama between them spreads. That distance is only healed as they welcome in their chosen family, all of whom come together to bridge the needs and build something uniquely beautiful. Warning, this book is intended for an adult audience and contains scenes that may trigger some people. Also, this was totally recorded in advance. Hi, how are you? I was a little.
I gave you plenty
I
of
was a little
time.
distracted this morning, so but it sounded like it didn't. I mean, I did a good job of pretending, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, go
Anyway.
check it out. Now available on Audible and Barnes and Noble, and I don't know where the hell else. I don't know. It's out
Barnes
there.
and Noble.
I don't know where you get your books from. I'm not sure. Lion's Den. I'm not.
Chirp, Hoopla,
There you go.
Everland, or something like that. I
No,
don't remember the name
I don't
of
know. I can't remember the last time I was able to actually purchase an audiobook like I make them. I don't have time these days. It's just that simple. Anyways, Next we had An Alpha's Beloved, the Helsing Siblings, Book 3 by Margaret Couplet, narrated by Declan Winters. After that,
Love and Death. Oh. Willow Falls Murders, Book 2 by Laura Jordan, narrated by Teddy Hamilton, Zachary Weber, and Juno Cooper.
After that, we had Seafoam and Saltwater Taffy by Layla Duren, narrated by Timothy Deese. After that,
Cameron's Homecoming, the North Avenue Live Guy Series, Book 6 by Sophia Nix, narrated by Tor Tom and Hugo Locke.
Hugo?
Hugo.
Hugo. That's how you say it in Cuba. After that, we had Nikolai and Incubus's Mate, Book 2 by Toby Wise, narrated by Richard Pendragon, who was also in the King Arthur series. After that,
Rival, the Raid, Book 1 by Katie Hawthorne, narrated by Zachary Zaba.
After that, we had Winter Ends, Seasons of Change, Book 3 by Joelle Lynn, narrated by Oliver Williams. Then we had
Dear John, Aqua Vista, Book 2, Vista, probably, by Christina Lee, narrated by Nick J. Russo.
Then we had Fitch, the Wild Street Boys series, Book 2 by N.R. Walker, narrated by Glenn Lloyd. After that,
Breakfast at Timothy's by Richard Tyler Jordan, narrated by Braden Wright.
Then we had Reverberation, St. Lake's Book 9 by April Kelly, narrated by Simon Dornay. After that, we had
Sunrunner, Summertide Chronicles Book 3 by Sam Burns, narrated by Darcy Stark and Zachary Johnson.
Then we had our next audio clip of the day. Let me get the right cover up. Kick back and relax. Here we go.
Deadly Deception by M.J. May, narrated by Declan Winters and Curtis Michael Holland. Necromancer Erasmus Boone's life is better than he ever imagined. With Halloween fast approaching, he's ready to enjoy his favorite time of year. Unfortunately, Detective Franklin O'Hare's Midwestern past has other ideas. A necromancer is found wandering the streets of Chicago, covered in blood and accused of murder. Franklin's former captain calls on Erasmus and Franklin for help, hoping to prevent another victimized necromancer. As they investigate, Erasmus discovers not only one victim, but several, with their souls blaming a long-dead boogeyman. Between uncovering the truth, dealing with local prejudices, and surviving assassination attempts, Erasmus is ready to head back to Mississippi. Deadly Deception is the second book in the Necromancer Tales series, a spin-off of the Perfect Pixie series, and should be enjoyed in order.
He has come a long way, man, since the Breakfast Club.
Oh my God.
Thanks for sending that in, man. I appreciate
No, wrong person. Totally wrong person.
it.
Anyway,
After that, we had Happily Never After by Ava Olson, narrated by Chorizo himself, Michael Dean, and Zachary Zaba. After that,
Slaying Sage, Short Thing, Book 6 by Jacqueline Quinn, narrated by Kurt Graves.
After that, we had Silent Partner, Fox Hollow Zodiac, Book 3 by Morgan Bryce, narrated by yours truly, John Solo. And that series is fantastic. After that, we had
Devil May Fall, The Devils of Vitality. I think that's what that said. By Channy Lynn Feener. Narrated by L.B. Tran.
After that, we had The Naga by Stella Rainbow, narrated by Sam Stark. Then we had
Merry Christmas, okay, Dungeons and Dating by Catherine McIntyre, narrated by Danny Logan.
Then we had What's Santa Got to Do with It? What's Santa? Second-hand emotion. Sorry. The Bent Oak, Texas by Bix Barrow, narrated by Declan Winters. After that, we had
Fall Into You by Dylan Morrison, narrated by Jordy Evan Hope. Oh.
Was Jordy was he in Star Trek? Was that?
No.
He had the hair clip
No.
on his... I was going to say, that would make it really hard to narrate an audiobook. I bet you he could do it, though. Jordy was a badass, man. And he was on the Reading Rainbow, which doesn't make any sense because he couldn't see, but I never did get that one.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, Lordy. Anyways, we are up to our favorite part of the show. This is where little Lissa Gramling tells us what she listened to this week. I will kick back, and I swear I won't say a thing.
Okay. Endgame by Felice Stevens, narrated by Cale Williams. Book 2 of the Brooklyn King series. And I gave this one 5 bullets. Brody and Devlin are the two main characters in this one. They play college football together, and after a bowl win, they start a relationship. They get drafted to 2 different teams, but on the off season, they meet up and spend as much time as they can together. Brody ends up with Devlin playing for the Brooklyn Kings, and they're still in the closet to their teammates and friends, but still manage to spend every moment they can together. This was another amazing book by Felice and Cale. I loved every moment of it. There are several time jumps in the book, and it just made the story even better. One of the main characters has a southern accent, which Cale did amazing things with. And I can't wait for book 3 because I hear that one of the MCs is French.
That's a good thing? Is that...
When it's Cale? Yes.
All right. I'm just going to have to take your word for that. By the way, for anyone that's sending in samples into us and any authors that really... there's no French on this show. There's no French. I mean, there's no... I need a shirt that no French. Anyways, thank you for putting this all together this week. I really do appreciate it. It's been such a busy week for me. We're recording this a day late. I'm going to go pass out for a little while before my gig. What are you doing today?
I don't know. I'd probably take a nap before I have to go to work.
There you go. Well, that's exactly my plan. Y'all enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with us. Good luck. Remember, bring in your science jokes next week. See you. Have fun. Bye.
Bye.